the cloud. And then I'm going to pull up, I got to share my screen. And share. And then I'll pull up the PowerPoint. There we go. And I think I have it set up so that it's easy to scroll through everything. I never know where to put my audience on the screen because I like to talk to you, but then you're over here or over here. So when I'm looking away, just know that that's what I'm doing. All right. So tonight we are getting together to talk about growing our awareness about essential oils and the use of essential oils with your pets. And so I'm going to share with you what I've learned. I'm going to be using a script that goes with the PowerPoint, but I'll be inserting kind of my own experiences as well. I've been using Young Living for about 8 years now, doing the business for about 7 years, and I've been using the oils with my pets since day one. So I'm not an expert or a doctor or a veterinarian, and I'm not here to diagnose, treat, or cure. So if you have those kind of questions, I'm going to point you to some resources. And so the content that I'm going to cover tonight is really just kind of an overview of how to use oils with pets and what's safe. And my background is that we have a small urban farm. We live in a little county island in the middle of Peoria, and we have a little over 3 acres. And so when I first started using Young Living, we had 4 dogs, a snake, a bird. I think those are all the indoor animals. And then we have cattle, and we had pigs at the time. We don't have those anymore. And now we have chickens. So we have used our essential oils on or around, or even in some cases, our animals since we started. And so it was really important to me to learn right away about that. And so my first reference guide that I got for essential oils in animals was called the ADR. This isn't even produced anymore, which, with produced, am I recording? Did I record? Yes. I think, does it say recording on your screens? Julie, can you look? Does it say recording anywhere on your screen? I just want to make sure I'm recording.
I couldn't hear what you just said.
I said, do you see where it says recording on your screen, like up in the corner? Does it say it anywhere?
I think it is because I'm looking at the participants and there's a red
Okay, yeah, okay, good. All right, so too bad we can't erase all of that from the recording, but anyway, so this is my first guide. They don't even produce it anymore, and so, with things that they don't produce anymore, there's lots of good non-compliant information in it. So I love that because then I can look that up. And another great resource that I think especially if you have a Young Living business, I think everybody should own this. And if you have any animals, you should own this. It's a really great guide. It's from Life Science Publishing. It's super colorful and easy to read. It's got lots of great pictures in it. Talks about all kinds of animals, and you can look up just like you do in your reference guide for you. So those are 2 great references that I use all the time. And then I also love the Facebook page called Essential Oils in a Pet's Home. And it's run by a veterinarian and a groomer. And so they're really great about putting research on there, answering your questions, and they post great stuff, just educational stuff all the time as well. So I just wanted to share my resources with you. I am using a script like I mentioned tonight because I want to make sure that all of you are getting the best information and not just my own personal opinion, even though, like I said, I have lots of experience with that. So with that, I also want to let you know that we're going to be doing 4 giveaways tonight during the class. So you want to make sure you know how to get to the chat feature. So if anybody doesn't know how, make sure that you come live and ask real quick and we'll tell you, but it should be at the bottom of your screen if you're on a laptop, or the three dots on your phone and look for the word chat, because I'm going to ask some questions throughout the night. And then Julie is going to randomly pick a winner out of those. I'm not sure what method she's using, but it'll be all random. And we're giving away 4 $20 product credits tonight throughout the class. So make sure you participate. So let's get started right away with some history. I think that's the next one. No, I was right. It's just, okay. So certain texts date back hundreds of years, referencing the use of essential oils and plant extracts with animals. Dr. Louis Sebeling, I don't really know if that's how you say his name, but it looks like it, generally gets credit with developing veterinary aromatherapy in the 1940s. And even though there's hundreds of years worth of references to it, that he kind of gets the founding father credit. And then in 1993, the French veterinarian Nelly Grosjean wrote the first book dedicated to the use of essential oils with animals. So that might be a good one to search for and find too. And while Dr. Lewis and Nelly got a lot of recognition in the oils and animals area, Carolyn Ingram began extensively studying the use of essential oils alongside veterinarians and developed the incredibly safe and effective method known nowadays as applied zoopharmacognosy. Whew, try saying that. I've practiced it a whole bunch of times before this class. But the translation for that is animal medicine knowledge. Okay, so she is the one that really developed the methods that we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you your first question, and that is, what type of pet do you have, and have you used essential oils around them? So if you don't have a pet, that's okay. Just say, I don't have a pet. We'll count your response too. The point is we want you responding. But, or if you're on here because you want to give information to somebody else, let us know that. But also, what kind of pet, and have you used essential oils around them or on them for that matter? So go ahead and put that in the chat. And then Julie will watch the chat and as we go, and then I'll stop before the next question, and Julie will announce who won for question number 1, the first $20 credit. All right. I love looking at the answers too, but I'm just going to move on. All right. So let's talk about what are essential oils, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. I'm not sure if you're new to them, if you got invited and really haven't used them before, or how much knowledge you really have. A cute little bunny's going across the window that's in front of me right now. It's like the bunny's joining our animal class too. So essential oils are secondary metabolites produced by plants as part of their health and defense systems, so they can do that for us too. So when we inhale, we absorb the essential oils, and they're evaporating constituents into our brain. And they go into the limbic system, which our sense of smell is connected to. But it's also where emotions, memory, and certain regulatory functions of our bodies are found in that limbic system. So that's why they have such a profound effect. Essential oils simultaneously work on the physical level at the same time they're working on your emotional level. And some are more powerful for emotions and some are more powerful for physical. So we'll kind of talk about that as we go. I am going to just really quick make sure that everybody is muted. There we go. All right. Oh, one more. Okay. So, well, goodness, I can't see my own screen if I do that. Okay. So, I'm sure you can all relate to the fact that, you know, our emotions kind of affect us physically. When we're stressed, it does affect our health. And so we want to talk about applied zoopharmacognosy and how it works. And this method states that animals have the, wait, I think that might be the next slide. Let me check here. Yeah, okay, there we go. States that animals have an innate ability to know what they need for their own health. And so the method that she developed was to allow your animals to choose whether that oil will work for them, because they are so much more cognizant of their own health than we are instinctually, by keeping the lid on a bottle of essential oil, so you're not going to take the lid off, and then holding it up to your cat or dog or whatever, bird, doesn't matter. My snake really didn't have much reaction, so but those that interact with you and have reaction, you're going to hold it up with the lid on, and you will notice one of two things. If they have a positive sign of that oil, they will sniff the bottle, they'll stay right next to you, they're not worried about it. A negative choice will be either they'll just ignore you with it, or they'll barely give it a sniff, or they'll sniff and they'll leave. And so I do this with my dogs all the time. And as a matter of fact, I'm holding up Valor, which happens, I have 3 Yorkies right now. And the middle one, our girl, she loves Valor. But if I held Stress way up to her, she'd be like getting away from me as fast as she could. And so I know that Valor is her oil for when we're in the car and she gets a little anxious. We travel with our dogs everywhere. And so after being in the car for hours, sometimes they will get nervous, or sometimes they just are having an off day. So Valor is her oil. Unfortunately for her, Stress Away is the oil for the other 2 dogs. And so we'll put Stress Away on them, and then she goes to the back seat with her Valor, and she's happy with that, and the 2 others stay up front. So you want to allow them to choose. Pay attention to their signs, because one, you don't want to stress them out. You don't want to force an oil on them that is one that they would run away from, because then they will relate stress to all oils. And so you want to make sure that you're really paying attention to how they react. And so you may get adverse effects if you're trying to force a certain oil on a dog. My previous dog, she loved Digis. But part of the issue was she ate everything in front of her on site. Like she'd go out to the chicken coop and, eat stuff she shouldn't, or the cow pen and eat stuff she shouldn't. But she would run in and nudge my leg and keep nudging me until I got the Digis out, because she knew it worked for her. So really pay attention to that. It's amazing what dogs know, and how this aromatherapist and veterinarian learned this method of just holding the closed bottle up to them and then slowly exposing them to that. So my second question is coming up, but before we do that, I'm going to have Julie come live and share with us who our winner of our first question was.
The first winner is Emily Tyler.
Emily, yay!
Hooray! Thank you.
I was trying to look and see if your face came on, because when
She and her doggy.
PowerPoint, yes, Emily has a new, very cute. Well, she's not so new anymore, huh?
No, I've had her almost a year now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was about when I got to see her about a year ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So my second question now is, have you ever experienced your pets doing the running away from other things, or really, like being right by you when you do something else? For example, when dogs will eat grass to calm their bellies, like you see that happen a lot, or what is that? So have you ever experienced that, and give us an example of that in the chat? And so you can take your time doing that, because we'll wait until right before I give away the next prize, or Julie gives away the next prize, I should say, you've got plenty of time is what I'm trying to say. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is dogs, cats, horses. And so let's start with the horses, okay? So I live, like I said, in a county island, and many of my neighbors have horses. We have cattle. Kind of goes hand in hand with both. If you have a cow or you have a horse, this will work. Horses tend to respond very well to essential oils, like probably better than even dogs do, and dogs are pretty great. And I think it's because they're herbivores and they have metabolic pathways that break down the oils very well, because that's what their systems are used to, is breaking down plant products. And so they tend to prefer the inhalation, like breathing them in, and licking methods that we use with oils. And I'll talk about both those in a second. Dogs also prefer inhalation and licking methods, but cats are a little different. Cats don't have metabolic pathways to break down some of the essential oils. And so having one of those reference guides that I talked about at the beginning is really, really important, because you want to focus on that section for cats to see what is good. I'm going to share with you that there's a whole lot out there on the internet that says don't use essential oils with any kind of animals, and then it goes berserk about using them with cats. But like I said, follow that Facebook page, Essential Oils in a Pet's Home, because that's run by a vet, and she has like an office cat that like curls up around the diffuser on a daily basis. She has done lots of studies with cats, and they're not bad for cats. There are certain ones that they don't process as well, so you need to be aware of that. But they can still be safe to use. Again, you want to make sure that you let them choose their own oils. And that means your cat, I mean, who hasn't experienced a cat letting you know how they feel about stuff if you've been around cats, right? They're very demonstrative about what they like and what they don't like. So make sure that you are getting in touch with a reference of some sort, especially if you're a cat person. All right, so let's talk about some general rules of thumb then. And animals, due to their hair follicles, have an increased rate and amount of absorption over what humans do. So I always suggest use plenty of carrier oil with your essential oils that you're applying to their bodies, so that there's proper dilution. Now, if what you're doing is diffusing, you are already diluting because you're putting it in water, right? And you're putting quite a bit of water, like a cup of water, to just 3, 4, 5 drops. So that's a great dilution ratio for all pets. But if you're putting them on their bodies, you want to err on the cautious side. So cats should have a carrier dilution of around 8 drops of carrier oil. A carrier oil, no, coconut oil. Sorry, hang on. There we go. Carrier oil would be like coconut oil, vegetable oil, Young Living's V6. So you want to do 8 drops of that to 1 for cats. With dogs under 25 pounds, it's about 6 drops of carrier oil to 1 drop of oil. Now, as your pets grow more used to it, you may be able to reduce that. Like our dogs are all to the point where I can put Stress Away and Valor on them just neat. And I just put 1 drop in my hands, rub it together, and I will pet them. And so that's one method of applying. And that's called the petting method. Again, diluting in a diffuser is then the inhalation method. Horses don't really need, they're such huge animals, they don't really need those kinds of dilution ratios. And so just remember, you can start on the cautious side, and then you can always make, like we have over time, to the point where we know whether we can apply something just neat, just straight out of the bottle with our pets or not. But listen to your animal. If you're diffusing oils for yourself while your pets are around, you always want to make sure that they have a way to get out. So either an open window or a open door, or be able to get to another room, or whatever method, so that they don't have to be right there. And watch them then, so that you know what they're sensitive to as you're going. And like I said, you don't know I'm sure nobody knows of any cat that would stay put if they didn't like what was going on. So I know there's a lot of concern about cats out there, but just pay attention to their behavior. The three most important things, so I want to say this before I move on to the next slide, is being cautious to be cautious on behalf of your pet while using oils. Is one, to check the quality of the oil, and I'm going to get into that in just a second here, because not all oils are created equal. Letting your pet choose which oil works for them. We have so many choices in Young Living, that shouldn't be an issue. And then providing an out, a way for them to remove themselves from any kind of situation where they're around oils. All right, so let's move on to the next slide here and talk about the quality of oils. So if you're familiar with Young Living already, you already know about our Seed to Seal promise. It's our guarantee that you are getting the highest quality, 100% pure plant-based essential oil. There's nothing else added to it. If there is a carrier oil in a blend or like in Progessence Plus or whatever, it will list it on the label so you know exactly what you are getting. But many other companies distill their essential oils out of plants by using a chemical extraction method. And that chemical residue is still going to be in that essential oil. Young Living uses a steam distilled process. And so you know that there is nothing contaminating our oils. I just want to read, I've got a little bulleted list here, and I want to read to you a little bit about the Seed to Seal promise. So you'll know that it's plant material that is grown on corporately owned farms or carefully vetted partner farms that follow the same standards as Young Living's corporate farms. And you can visit any of those farms to see the process that is going on. Sustainable farming and sourcing practices are part of our Seed to Seal promise, providing the purest oil possible. Great care is taken to preserve and protect our natural resources as part of this promise so that we are not doing any harm to the earth. And all of our fields are hand weeded, and none of them use any form of pesticide whatsoever. We have oils that retain all their natural constituents and therapeutic properties. We use food grade distillers with state-of-the-art design, distillation methods, and steam only. They're low pressure, low temperature distillation. No solvents are used or synthetic chemicals, like I mentioned. We have rigorous testing on every single batch by internal labs and third-party facilities, and oils that are carefully reviewed through every step of production in order to meet or exceed industry safety and purity standards, which is beyond organic. I know lots of times we get asked, are our oils organic? Our standards are so far surpassing organic standards that that's kind of even a question that makes me giggle sometimes, because it's like, oh my gosh, if you only have been to a farm to see the process, you would know. And the best part, if the oils don't meet any of those high standards, they're rejected and will not be bottled as a Young Living product. We would rather have something go out of stock, and that rather than let any inferior product slip through to the consumer. So it's rare to find a company with such high standards, and I think that's pretty amazing. If you want to know more about the Seed to Seal promise, just check out www.seedtoseal, all one word, .com, and you will learn a lot more about that. All right, we're about ready to ask for question 3. So Julie, if you want to come live and give us the winner for question 2, again, another $20 product credit from the Layman Leadership.
The winner of question number 2, and I apologize if I mispronounce it, Rowena Cardoza.
Great, congratulations. Congratulations. Whew, I can't say congratulations. All right, thank you, Julie. All right, our next question. So if you joined us late, what we're doing is we are, I'm asking a question for you to possibly win a $20 product credit by answering in the chat section of the Zoom here. And our third question is, Was there a statement about seed to seal that I just shared with you that surprised you, or something that you are just like, yes, this is why I love Young Living products? So tell us what part of seed to seal really stood out for you. All right, let's talk about a few oils, and I love this part because there's some recipes. So if you want to take a screenshot of the presentation, you can. Again, we are also recording, so I want to make sure that you know you can go back and see this again if you miss it. But we're going to talk about lavender first. And everyone has heard of lavender. Obviously, it's frequently referred to as the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. And just as lavender can be calming to you and me, it can also be calming to your animals as well. And so I love that part about it, because if during a storm or the 4th of July or the New Year's Eve fireworks, you know, those kinds of things, lavender can be a very soothing oil for you to be diffusing. And I always suggest, if you know a storm's coming or you know it's the holiday and about when the fireworks start, to start a good 45 minutes to an hour before and start diffusing. This last 4th of July, you know, I was thinking, oh, it's not going to be so bad because, you know, they're banning fireworks shows everywhere. But I thought, I better just be careful. And I'm so glad I did, because the people that live in the county island thought they were exempt from all the rules. And so they were shooting off cannons and things like that. And my dogs just calmly stayed where they were. And I have one, the oldest one, he's 14, who really freaks out at any type of little noise, even if there's thunder way off in the distance. And so it really helped him. I was glad that I was proactive about it. So other uses for lavenders, it can soothe their skin. Maybe they get a scratch, or, you know, just need some skin relief of some sort. And it's always great to I rub it in your hands and kind of pet them with it before they go outdoors, especially in areas where you might have a lot of insects. All right, so make sure, like I said, to screenshot this soothing skin gel recipe, because it's really great for your dogs and cats and horses and cows and whatever. So it's a really nice skin recipe, and you can certainly use it yourself as well. I've actually used this after staying out in the sun too long, and it's made a huge difference. And that's one thing we tend to forget about our pets, is that they also can get, you know, the effects from the sun. So I actually use my Young Living sunscreen on them. And yes, it gets on their fur. We shave our Yorkies, so it's pretty short, and, you know, their skin is kind of exposed. But look at where your dogs are exposed and think about those kinds of things for your pets as well. And it feels so good to have a sunscreen or a soothing skin gel recipe that is safe for your pets. All right, the next one we're going to share, again, feel free to take a screenshot, is we are going to talk about cedarwood, geranium, and frankincense. So let me tell you what each of these are good for. So cedarwood can be calming and grounding. Again, another one for any kind of tense type of situations for your animals. Maybe you're going to the dog park for the first time, or you're going to a friend's house who has animals, and so you're not quite sure how they'll react. This is a really good proactive type of oil. Frankincense is incredibly grounding, and it's calming, and it's also very soothing to the skin. So again, if you need things for your dog's skin, this is really great. And also for any kinds of bumps or skin tags or things like that, putting them on a consistent, regular basis for your dogs will really help them with that as well. And then geranium. And so if you mix cedarwood and lavender and geranium, you can make an outdoor spray for them, and it supports their healthy skin. It can also be balancing and grounding for them. And then we've put a DIY collar for dogs up, so that you would put this on their collar, and it's adding citronella, and we all know what citronella is good for, right? And so that will really protect your dogs as they're in the outdoors. Another thing that I really like to do to protect them from the outdoors, we usually travel to Wisconsin every summer, and you know their state bird is the mosquito, right? Yeah, that's an exaggeration, but it's kind of true. And so I love the insect repellent wipes. And so I will use one on myself, and then I can still cover all 3 dogs. That's how far one insect repellent wipe goes. And so I like to use those as well. All right, I'm not really checking the chat too. So if you have a question, maybe Julie can alert me if there's something I need to answer. All right, the next one is Citrus Fresh. Citrus Fresh is so great for basically deodorizing. It's not like one of those sprays that you would spray where it just kind of masks the smell. It actually absorbs the smell and kind of eats it up, which I think is wonderful. But it's also relaxing and calming. And just think of it like a bunch of citrus oils with a hint of mint in it. And the script here kind of cracks me up. Ever tired of that dog or cat smell? Well, yeah, who isn't? Nobody likes to have their home smell like wet dog or cat litter, right? So one of the great things, I love to talk about this with cats, is what's on the screen here, and that is putting drops of Citrus Fresh actually in the cat litter. And then as the cat is scratching the litter, that is also benefiting them as well. So it's not just a scent thing, but it's also nourishing their bodies with the essential oils. So I like to diffuse this one a lot in my guest bathroom, just so that, you know, there's a pleasant smell in there at all times. So it's kind of the same idea as the litter box. And to create a room freshening spray, you can add 20 drops of Citrus Fresh or any oil of choice for that matter to distilled water and like a 4-ounce spray bottle. So I have a spray bottle here that I usually have one in just about every room of the house. So again, take a screenshot if you have not done so already, because we're going to move on to the next line of products. And that is our Animal Sense line. This is absolutely one of my favorites. I can't say enough about the shampoo. When we use it to give our dogs a bath, it actually, they stay pleasant smelling for several days after using it. And it's so good for them. I've actually used it on my hair when I got in the shower and I was out of shampoo, and the only thing that was in there was Animal Sense, and it was great. It can be used on other larger livestock and things like that as well. We do have cat treats and dental pet chews for dogs. And those are really great for helping their oral health. My favorite item that I use more than we use on our pets is the Animal Sense ointment. Think about it like as a Neosporin for pets or Neosporin for you. So I use it a lot for that. As a matter of fact, right before this class, I scratched myself pretty darn good with my fingernails, and it's just a little red. I didn't have time to go do anything about it. I put an oil on it. Didn't really help because I didn't have the one I needed close to me. But I'm going to go put Animal Sense on it when I'm done. And I know it will be fine just immediately. And then, of course, we have a line of oils as well that are Animal Sense oils. I happen to have Tea Away sitting right here next to me, which is also great for people. But think of like when you have anxious situations, so maybe those fireworks or the thunderstorms, that would be another great oil to do for that. And there are several others in the line. So take a look at those and know that those are already diluted for your animals, and so that you don't really have to add a carrier oil to any of those if you want. All right, and let's see. Oh, I didn't want to forget, a portion of the proceeds from all of the Animal Sense line goes to support Vital Ground, a nonprofit organization dedicated to protecting the habitat of grizzly bears and other wild roaming wildlife. Wildlife was a very important topic and subject to Gary Young, And so there are several different wildlife types of organizations, but the Animal Sense line in particular goes to this vital ground. So a portion of every purchase. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, oops, didn't mean to do that. Supplements for your pets. What? Yes. Pets need supplements too. And I love talking about Ningxia Red for your cats and your dogs because most of them really, really like it. Even the wolfberry, dried wolfberries are a good a natural treat for them. So if you give treats now and you're kind of worried about the ingredients in them, the dried wolfberries is a great alternative, and they love them. And they're a little chewy, so that makes it nice. But Ningxia Red, my funny story with that is that my dogs like Ningxia Red, but they won't drink it if I put it in their bowl like this cat is doing on the screen. So I have to actually spill a little bit on the floor, which thank goodness I use these cleaner on my floor. So I know they're only getting good stuff, but they will only drink it when I put it on the floor or if I put it a little in my hand or something like that. And they love it. They want more and more and more, but for some reason, I guess they think their bowl is for water. So again, I listen to my pets. So they're not labeled for use with animals, obviously, but I know so many members, and on that website that I told you about, run by the vet, Essential Oils in a Pet's Home, they talk about using Ningxia all the time with their pets. You know, Ningxia Red is one of our most beloved products. It's Ningxia Red is 25% Ningxia wolfberry puree, which is a wellness supporting superfruit with incredibly high antioxidant rating. And our pets are breathing in the same air we are, so they need those antioxidants just as much as we do. Antioxidants make for an unfriendly environment for free radicals in your body. So especially with cats who are prone to you know, some pretty serious diseases, antioxidants really help make that environment in their body unfriendly for those. And so if you don't know what the effects of free radicals are on your body, I would really highly suggest you Google it, because I think you will be shocked. And if you're not drinking Ningxia Red now, you will after you Google that and start reading about it. It helps support normal blood sugar levels. It provides support for normal eye health, cellular function, and energy levels. It's a supplement that provides overall support to your animal to help them be their best selves and to stay healthy. It's a great preventative. Other favorites that to share with your pets are sulfurzyme, omega-gize, and agiles. So sulfurzyme comes in capsules, and its ingredients help maintain the structure of proteins, protect cells and cell membranes, replenish the connections between cells, and preserve the molecular framework of connective tissue. So you want to make sure that you purchase the capsules and not the powder, because the powder has added sweetener in it, natural sweetener obviously, but you don't want to be giving that to your pet. So you can just break open the sulfurzyme capsule and put it on their food, or mix it in if you want to. Omega-gize contains the power of 3 core daily supplements: omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D3, and CoQ10. These supplements combine with our proprietary enhancement essential oil blend to create an omega-3 DHA rich fish oil supplement that may support general wellness. Used daily, these ingredients work synergistically to support normal brain, heart, eye, and joint health. And then finally, agiles. I don't know if you've ever had a dog that's like old and has a hard time getting up and isn't as active anymore. So this is good for pets that may need that support for any kind of natural acute inflammation response in their joints after exercise. Agiles is a joint health supplement that's perfect for healthy individuals, meaning people and pets, who are looking to gain greater mobility and flexibility through the reduction of that inflammation. And I can say all of that compliantly because that is an FDA approved over-the-counter supplement. All right, we are about ready for our last question. So Julie, if you want to come live again and share with us who is our winner for question 3, that would be great.
Question number 3 winner is Molly. But Molly, I need you to put your last name in the chat, please, because I don't think iPhone is your last name.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm sure Molly will do that. Molly was first on today too, as a matter of fact. All right, so my next and last question, question number 4, your last chance to win the $20 product credit is Oily Ninjas. If you're on here and you've been an oil user for a while, we call you an Oily Ninja. Share how you take your Ningxia Red every single day, or how you give it to your beloved pet. And if you are newer, tell me what you learned about Ningxia Red that you would like to, that makes it intriguing to maybe purchase for yourself or your pet. So if you are experienced, how you take your Ningxia every day. If you don't have never tried Ningxia, what intrigues you about it, okay? I think I need a drink of water. All right, and we're gonna move on to the next slide. Here we go. So let's talk about your pet's oral care. Now, I don't know if it's a Yorkie trait or what, but I cannot, this tiny little, well, Jack's 12 pounds. He's my biggest Yorkie, but still 12 pounds. My husband and I together, holding him down, trying to pry open his mouth, we can't do it. It's just like nearly impossible. So I love that they have this DIY pet oral care spritzer. And so you're using Thieves mouthwash and water in a spray bottle. But the key is I want to be really careful about telling you that you don't want to just like spray it in their mouth, because you're going to shock them with it. Thieves mouthwash is pretty intense. So you want to make sure that you are introducing it to them slowly. Again, if they run away, just looking at the bottle, that's not going to work. Put a little bit in the palm of your hand and let them smell it, and then let them lick it at first until they get used to it, because then they're going to like it. And then at some point you may be able to spray it. You could also put it in a dropper bottle if that works better, and put it in their mouth, and then they'll naturally swish it around.
Hey, Jason.
So
I'm doing all right here. I don't know if you saw it or not. I
muted.
sent you a link that I'm on a Zoom.
There we go. All right. I'm sure she doesn't want us to hear her phone call. All right. So we need to clean our teeth, and our pets need to have their teeth cleaned as well. As a matter of fact, our poor Jack just in the last few months had to have 25 of his teeth pulled. And again, part of that's because he is such a fighter and not letting us get to it. It wasn't for lack of trying. So he has 3 little teeth left. But he had such bad infection once they got pulled. He has been like rallied in his health. But one thing you can use is the Thieves Detronome toothpaste. Now, it's safe to use with dogs. Please do not use the Detronome Plus is what you want. Don't use the Detronome Ultra or the Aroma Bright or our new whitening one, because they all contain xylitol, which can be toxic to dogs. So you want to make sure it's the Thieves Detronome Plus. That's the one you want. And so when you get that bacteria-laden plaque off of their teeth, then you know that they're going to stay healthier longer. The oral health is so important in your pets. So again, take a screenshot of this spritzer. I wrote myself a note to make sure I was telling you how to be careful, so I want to make sure. Yep, I told you all of that. Okay, great. All right, so let's move on, because we're getting close to the end here, and talk about essential rewards. So what is one thing people are often asked, what is one thing you wish you had known in the very beginning? So whenever we ask our members this question, the number one answer is, I wish I had known about essential rewards earlier. So I don't want to miss sharing all the perks of this wonderful program with you. Essential Rewards is an optional program. Obviously, that's why people say, I wish I would have known more about it at the beginning. But you're definitely going to want to join the ER bandwagon, Essential Rewards, because it is the best way to save money while you replace the toxic products in your home and reorder products as needed. It's similar to those monthly subscription boxes that you see online all the time, except for a couple major differences. You can customize your box every single month. You get to pick what goes in the box. Like I just started getting that bark box for our dogs, and I don't get to pick what's in it. It just comes every month. So we'll see how much I like that. But every month you get to customize your box. You can also change the date that you have it arrive every month. So if you are like I used to be when I worked full time, I got paid every 2 weeks. So I never got paid on the same day. So I would make my Essential Rewards coincide with my payday. And you can do that, change it every month. So that makes it really convenient for you. And another great perk is that when you order on Essential Rewards, you get money back in a bank in your account. They call it points, but it's pretty much dollar for dollar for most of our products. And when you start, in the first 3 months, you get 10% back. I don't know a credit card, a mileage card, a Target, Red card, any of those that give you 10% back to start off with. At month 4, it doubles to 20% back. So if you've been a loyal customer all for 4 months, at 4 months, you're going to get 20% back. And then at month 25, you start getting 25% back. And you also get free loyalty gifts at months 3, 6, 9, and 12. They just add it in your order. You don't have to order it or anything. It just comes for free. There are exclusive kits that you can only get on Essential Rewards. And whenever Young Living puts kits together, they typically are about 20% off of what you would spend even wholesale on each of the items individually. And then you get free promotional items every month, depending on at what price point that you spend your Essential Rewards order on. So if I'm thinking about pets and I'm saying, what should I get on my Essential Rewards order? Here's what I honestly would suggest. In month 1, I would start with a Ningxia Red. And there is a Ningxia Red kit on Essential Rewards. Month 2, I would start thinking about products from the Thieves line, the cleaner, the mouthwash, the toothpaste that's appropriate, which is the Detronome Plus, right? And excuse me, month 3, maybe the Animal Sense, a couple of the Animal Sense oils, a couple of the oils we talked about in some of the recipes, and for sure the shampoo, and I would probably add the Animal Sense ointment. You get such a huge jar. Actually, I bought my jar 5 years ago, and I just bought a new jar just now. And I still am not out of my original jar. There's just, maybe a few months left in it. So the products last a long time and go a long way. All right, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is if you're not yet a member and you want to become a member, then the best way to do that is with the Premium Starter Kit. So most of the oils we talked about tonight are in the starter kit, so that's a great way to get started. This kit is actually closer to almost 60% off of the retail cost as if you were to buy everything individually. So, and what it does is it gives you that wholesale membership for life. So you will always get the wholesale cost of your products that you order in the future, like on your Essential Rewards order. And if you count your Premium Starter Kit as your first Essential Rewards order, you'll automatically earn $10 in your bank with that very first purchase of your kit. So it not only does it come with 12 essential oils, it also has a diffuser with it. The one pictured here is our Desert Mist diffuser. And then it comes with samples of the Ningxia Red. It comes with a Thieves spray. It shows a packet of Thieves, but instead it's a spray now. And then the hand sanitizer as well. So with membership, you also have the opportunity to help a friend or 2 or 3 get a kit of their own. And it's as easy as passing your member number along when they want to order their own kit, and Young Living will send you a $50 thank you check for doing that. Now, that doesn't mean you're doing the business side of Young Living. It just means you're sharing with other people, and Young Living is thanking you for doing that. However, if you do decide that you want to start a business, this purchase of this kit is all you need to do to start that as well. So there are so many perks to starting with your premium starter kit. And so with that, I think we are pretty much done. I love this cute little picture, this little thank you picture. So Julie, we need you to come live again and share with us who the 4th winner was of our questions. And I will open my chat now too, so I can see if there's any other questions. So feel free, while Julie's announcing our 4th winner, to ask any additional questions you might have.
So the 4th winner is Teresa Cardoza Castanon.
Hey, congratulations to all of our winners tonight. And we have just a couple minutes left if anybody wants to unmute and ask a question or put a question in the chat before we sign off. Julie, thank you for your help tonight. It was nice not having to worry about that end of it myself.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I could help.
Good, thank you. All righty, well, I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. Sherry, I saw you wave. Thank you, goodbye. All right, goodbye everybody. Thanks for being on tonight. Takes me a minute to figure out how to stop the recording here. Oh, there it is, recording. Stop.